Yeah, I think we might have it. All right, let's see. There is Instagram. We're going live there. Let's go to Facebook. I don't see anything happening yet, but we're going to make this happen, y'all. Facebook does not love us today. It's not going to happen on Facebook. That's okay. We're going to just go with it. Hello, 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 and welcome. It has been a long time since I have gone live. I took the summer off and then I took like an extended summer off. So it's so good to be back. I couldn't wait any longer to go live with you guys. I love giving you these little mini trainings. Let's get to it. Today, I want to talk about professional brand photography, even if you don't have a professional photographer. So, brand photography, it's so important. A lot of us are missing the mark on it, or we are stalling, where we keep telling ourselves, I've got to wait until I've got a professional photographer that I can bring in to do it, or we just tend to put it off. It's scary, it's hard. So, let's talk about how to get professional brand photography, even if you don't have a professional photographer. If you don't know me, I'm Kelly Coulter. I have the Healthpreneur Hub group on Facebook, which is an 8,500 member group, all full of fitness instructors, personal trainers, wellness coaches, and other health entrepreneurs. I train entrepreneurs on creating a sustainable, profitable, fun to run business model and on how to do sales from social media. So, how to make your social media actually produce sales for you, which doesn't always happen for all of us. A lot of us are posting and posting, and then we don't know what to do once somebody actually starts to interact with us, and we can't figure out why the time and money that we're spending on social media doesn't translate over into actual dollars in the bank and clients that we are helping to change their lives. So that's what I do. I help you to run a fun business and I help you to make money off of social media. Today, I want to talk about brand photography. So I have documented out my 5 biggest tips for getting professional brand photography, headshots, shots that you can use in your ads, all of these things, even if you don't have a professional photographer. I'm just going to go for it. I want to keep this training really short. So we're going to go for number 1. Let's talk about good lighting. So, you guys, I kind of was famous during the pandemic for having like really good lighting. And like everybody always talked about how my lighting was really good. I don't know why. I guess in the fitness industry, when we were all, teaching our yoga classes and doing our thing, a lot of us didn't have great lighting, but I learned early on that if you just work with your light source instead of against it, you're going to get a lot further. So I would always just set up my videos and my photos where I was facing a window. And I'm facing a window right now. I actually purchased the house that we're in based a lot on the fact that I could set up my office in this way where my desk faces a window and I've got like a pretty background behind me. I think normally I set it up so you can't see that door. But anyway, facing a light source, especially a natural light source, is going to be key. A lot of us are constrained by the fact that there's like the light source is in the same spot as where we want to be standing. So that's especially true when you're doing live video. Like if you're teaching a workout class, if you're teaching a training, a lot of times the clearest space in your house is in front of a big patio door or a bay window. And what happens when you're in front of a bay window or a big patio door is your light source is behind you. And when your light source is behind you, it confuses the camera and it puts your face in shadow because the camera is going to see the light behind you. It's not going to see your face. So really important to be facing a light source when you start to set up your shot. What that means is if you don't have a space in your wherever you are, your house, your office, and that's where you want to do your headshots. If you don't have that space, except for in front of a window, you got to clear out whatever's behind you. So you've got to make space. You might need to spend some time setting up your shot. And so that might mean that you have to clear everything out that the camera is going to see from behind you, and then maybe just have one focal point behind you, and then face the window. The other thing you can do is go outside and find like a pretty little corner that you could be in. I was just at the Cape last week and we did some headshots there. Not the Cape, the shore, the Jersey Shore. My trainer, Kathy, who is amazing, took me to the shore and we did some headshots at her friend's house at the shore. And there was a lot of stuff around. And what we ended up doing was going and just finding little corners that looked cute, moving things off to the side, and then using that spot as the place that we were going to do the shots. I face the light source, which means I'm facing the sun. That can be a little difficult, but it's really important. Face the light source. That is my first tip for good lighting. Daylight or golden hour is great. Facing the light source is great. Avoid backlighting. All right, so that's lighting. That's the first thing. Second thing is facial expression. So a lot of us don't know what to do with this when we are getting headshots done. And it's something I struggle with as well, because I don't want to just be like cheesy smiling the whole time. So I'm really conscious of what I'm doing with my face. And I like to have a little bit of, I like to have a lot of options to work with, because I do a lot of posts where there's going to end up being a face, me, in the posts. And this is important. We need these. You guys, I should have said this in the very beginning, but let me say it now. Stock photography is not going to work. You have to have a picture of yourself in your ads. You have to have a picture of yourself at the top of your website. You have to have a picture of yourself anywhere where you're asking someone to trust you and like you and move forward with you. These services, the things that we do as health entrepreneurs, health coaching, fitness, wellness, nutrition, these services are bought based on trust, and people know, like, and trust you when they can see you. You have zero chance of getting no like and trust from someone that cannot see you. So these are super important. You want to have lots of options to use in your marketing. So first we talked about good lighting. Let's talk about facial expressions. I like to make a list of the facial expressions that I want before I go out and do a photo shoot. So before I get all the makeup on, before I get the hair done, before I think about the outfit, the first thing I'm going to do is think about how I want to use these pictures, where I need them, and what facial expressions might be appropriate. You're always going to want some smiling photos. They don't have to be huge smiles. They can be mild smiles. You can do an option or array of smiles, but you definitely want to have looking at the camera smiling. You want to have looking off to the side smiling. You want to have looking off to the other side smiling. You want to have an array of smiles. I like to do smirks as well. So a little, or a little, or a little. No, okay, not that one. But mouth closed, little bit of turned up right here. Smiling is going to read better on camera. When you don't smile, you can tend to look worried or mad. So smiling even just a little is going to be important. Big smiles and little smiles. The other thing about facial expression is makeup. So if you choose to do makeup, you're going to do a lot of eye, and you're going to do a lot more eye than you think you are, and you're going to do some lip. So make sure that at the very least, you're hitting the eyes and the lips with the makeup. So right now, as you look at me on camera, I've got foundation on. I've got a lot of under eye. I naturally have a dark under eye, so I've got a lot of under eye concealer. And then there's a lot of eye makeup. And then there's just a little bit of lip. That's how I like to do my makeup. I highly suggest that there's at least going to be heavy eyeliner, mascara, more than you would wear in public, and some lip. All right. So that's for women. For men, I'm not going to touch that one. I'm going to leave it up to you. You wear as much as you feel appropriate. Don't be embarrassed to at least put on um some powder and maybe something to make the eyes pop a little bit. All right. Setting. So we already talked about facing the camera, facing the light source. That's going to be super important for you. You've got to face the light source. And you've got to have a setting that is attractive but not overpowering. You want it to be plain, you want it to be neat, you want it to be intentional. So you can look up examples on the internet of different people that have done photos in the exact same location and how you can really make a specific location look very different. But the advice that I'm going to give you is just keep it tight. So keep it you and just a little bit of other stuff going on the sides. And that's going to go a lot further for you than like backing out and having to worry about everything that's going on in the shot. So if you're worried about your location, if you're worried about where you are sitting in these shots, just keep it tight. Keep it mostly you with just a little bit on the sides. Clear out any mess. Really take a critical eye and look at that sofa that you're going to be sitting on, or if you're going to be sitting on a bench outside, whatever it is, really take a critical eye and look around you and just clear out everything you can from the sides. Keep it clean and neat. So be intentional, keep it tight, keep it neat. That's the best advice I can give you about setting. So let's talk about poses. I'm checking the time because I want to make sure that we keep this really tight today. I want to go really short on these trainings in the next season. All right, so poses. I like to do a mixture of active poses and kind of more staged poses. So what I'll do is I'll sit down and I will think about I'll usually, when I do a photo session, whether I'm taking the photos with my phone or whether I've got a professional photographer, I'll sit down and I'll think about where I'm going to be using these. So I'm going to be using these in my Facebook group. That's where there's a lot of business builders. So they are professionals, but we are also all active people. We are all health entrepreneurs. So I want to keep it fun and I want to keep it active. I want to highlight the kind of activities that I do. So I'll do a lot of yoga shots. And that's just how I roll. They just work well with photos. And I might mix that with like some business attire or some business casual attire, but I'll do yoga shots and then I'll do some like sitting in the chair with coffee kind of shots. But what I do is I sit down ahead of time and I think about the poses I'm going to be in so that I don't have to be standing there during the photo session when there might be people off to the side staring at me, when might be a photographer there, when there might be other things going on that are taking my attention. I don't want to have to be thinking about which poses I'm going to do. So I'm going to have a list ready to go. Like, okay, I want to do a shot of me in a business top in like half lotus pose, or I want to do a shot of me doing like a standing balance pose. And I want it to be, I want to be wearing just yoga clothes. So I'll really think through that and just have a list ready to go. Now, that doesn't mean that other things may not happen during the time that we're doing the photo shoot, but it does mean that I'm prepared and I don't have to use that brain power so much during the photo shoot. I don't have to sit there and think about what I want to be doing next. That, from personal experience, I will tell you, can get really exhausting. So plan out your poses. Think about what you want to be doing and which outfits you want to be wearing if you're going into that much detail in your planning beforehand. All right. And then my number 5 piece of advice. So number 1 was good lighting. That means outside if possible, face the light source every time. Number 2, think about your facial expressions. You might want to practice your smile in the mirror. We didn't cover that one, but you want to have big smiles. You want to have little smiles. You want to have smirks. You want to look off to the sides. That way you've got an array of things that you can use later on. Setting, keep it intentional, keep it neat, keep it tight. The poses, I'm suggesting that you create a list of the poses you want to have in your photo shoot beforehand. And then number 5, if possible, if it is possible for you, I want you to hire a professional photographer at least once a year to do a few photos for you. So you can go out there with your iPhone or with your whatever, you've got your Galaxy, and you can do photos all day long and you can do a great job. I have got photos that I've taken that I use all the time. But I like to go and hire a photographer for a couple $100, $100, $200, $300. It is not so much money that it's completely cost prohibitive. I like to go and hire a photographer, and I like to get some good headshots at least once a year. It really pays for itself when it comes to having a bank of photos that I know I can use, because there are a lot of times that we will do a post. You guys tell me if this is you, if this has happened to you. A lot of times you'll go to do a post and you've got something really valuable to say, or you've got something to promote, or you're ready to go start talking to people about your program, and you want to post something and then you realize you have no photography to go with it. And so then you're scrambling to make the post and take this like selfie of you like this. And so you do the surprise thing where you're like, right? Doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's too time consuming. It's too draining. It takes away from the content that you're trying to create, because now you're trying to create the content and the photography to go along with it. Get a good bank of photos. If you can hire a professional photographer once a year, do it. Either way, have a few photo sessions, have a bank that is ready to go. Okay, so that's my 5 tips for you. You guys, I want to hear from you. Let me know if that is helpful. I'm really so excited to be back doing these trainings with you. And so I would love to hear more about what you want to hear and whether or not you found that helpful. Now, let me tell you before I go what's going on inside my business. So if you're in the Facebook group, you already know I've changed the name of the Facebook group to the Healthpreneur Hub. I'll be honest with you, I'm not completely sold on that name. I'd love to hear your feedback. It may change again in a few months. What's not going to change is what we do in there. We are a group of fitness professionals and health entrepreneurs. We work to change people's lives. We are life-changing entrepreneurs who help to change health outcomes for our clients. I train inside that group by bringing you free trainings, and then I've got a really low cost entry level training called the Make Money as a Coach blueprint. And then I do the accelerator, which is where I teach you how to create a program so that you can leverage your time and stop relying on one-to-one or per session income. So a more leveraged, more scalable business model. And then my higher level training is called Social Sales Academy. I'm actually enrolling clients into that program as we speak. That is where I teach you what to post, how to post it, when to post it, and then how to take your social media and make it into sales. That's where we all stumble. I was just talking to somebody the other day about how people know how to post inside groups. They know how to post inside their audiences. What they don't know is what to do with those inquiries once they come in. So they don't have any clue what those 4 specific steps are that bring someone from commenting on your post to actually becoming a client. The other thing that we're really bad about as health entrepreneurs is what exactly do we post in order to get people to interact with us and get the right people to interact with us so that your future clients are raising their hands and saying, yes, that's me. I want help please, please let's have a conversation about your program. That's what I teach you inside Social Sales Academy. If that sounds like something you're interested in, I would love to hear from you. Let's have a conversation. So those are the things that I do. Nothing is changing about my business besides some of the branding and naming stuff. So you're going to see me experimenting and maybe surveying a little bit more on that in the coming weeks and months. Y'all, I will be back next Wednesday at 11:30 going live with you for more really valuable information. Also, I'm going to be going live. Let me talk about one more thing. We've got a second before we go. I'm going to be going live later in the week, I believe tomorrow, with Christine Conti. If you know Christine, you know she was the IDEA fitness instructor of the year last year. She has just taken over FitFix, and she's going to be coming on live with me to talk all about what she's doing with FitFix and how you can get all of your CEUs for the year through FitFix. So I'm looking forward to that talk. Watch for me to come live again tomorrow for that. All right, you guys, that's what I've got for you. Love you, and I will see you soon.